Southend has for long been associated with its coastal position and seaside entertainments, which draw people to the town in summer months. It's also a town with a young population and new inward investment, which is creating work and social opportunities for the future. Providing the best start in life for the next generation of Southend residents is central to the Borough Council's planning, and a wide range of nursery and early years facilities ensure that many different needs are met. The Council is also committed to ensuring that any children with additional needs or disabilities are fully included within this provision. A brokerage service is provided through the Family Information Service to ensure that parents and children are introduced to the setting that best meets their needs.
Every child is an individual, therefore there's not a package to say that this is right or not. And also the family's needs. Is it that that family just needs some rest? Or is it that the parents want to go back to work or access training? So what type of childcare do they need? You know, is it weekends? Is it, you know, evening work? What is it that that child and family need in their package? And then we try to broker the relationship then with the childcare provider that best meets that package. So it is a brokerage service. It really is an individual experience for a family.
To support settings and help them to provide for children with additional needs, a wide range of professional help is available.
We've got a really good support package around the childcare providers in Southend. We work in partnership with the National Childminders Association and Preschool Learning Alliance. They supply some development officer hours, and their role is particularly to work with the providers. We've also got a group of what we call area Sankos, which is special needs coordinators, and they've been really fantastic in working with the providers to try to look at how best they can have the experience for the child and the provider. So really the support is really excellent. We also have qualified teacher input. So if a child needs a little bit extra support in their learning, then we have a qualified teacher team as well that goes in to support the providers.
Area Sankos, or Special Education Needs Coordinators, provide a link between parents and settings and the professional support that's available to them.
We work with partners in social care, in children's centres, and with the private voluntary sector, sometimes with care agencies, to make sure that those children's needs are met within the early years setting in whatever way is best for them. So there's no set formula. We look at each child as an individual.
Our job is to enable and empower the setting, the staff, to work with the child with additional needs and support them to the best way they can.
With parents, some of them are reluctant to accept that their child has needs over and above other children, and it's getting them to understand that you're not there to criticise or to judge. You're there to support them and help them to support their child in the best way possible.
We make sure that we go in and actually we can lend them toys and things like that to actually use. It's just letting them know that we're there so we can support them.
You need to be a good communicator. You need to be able to listen and support. It's not just the child, it's the parents and the staff in the setting that you're working with.
Each setting also has its own Sanko, who supports children with additional needs and ensures that the setting is equipped to meet those children's particular health or education needs.
Maybe if they had allergies, we would have a care plan put in place. A nurse would come into the setting and give the training for all the staff. Say if they had diabetes or an EpiPen. If they had specific needs such as cerebral palsy, brittle bone, things like that, we may have to adapt the setting to adjust the child's needs. If it was something maybe it's autism and they would need something alongside what we already support the other children with, we would put an IEP, which is an individual educational plan, in place. So we would have meetings with the parents, discuss how we can move forward with their growth and development, and have targets set in place for that child. And they're quite small, specific targets that that child can work towards.
The targets are encompassed within the individual education plan, which special needs teachers help to implement and monitor.
It's an individualised learning plan for a child which takes into account their strengths and needs and the views of the parent. So from discussion and from information from other professionals, we would put together a plan with a maximum of 3 targeted areas in which we would focus support for up to 6 weeks and then review the plan.
Including children with additional needs into a mainstream setting can bring about many benefits, both to the children and their families.
It's excellent when you can, you have children into a mainstream setting where other children look after them, other children learn about their needs, they learn from other children, so the social aspect is fantastic. And it's also lovely for parents to actually think, my child can go and enjoy whatever that is or wherever that is shaped, that they've got the experiences as well. And every child deserves the opportunity to reach their full potential, whatever that may be. And I think a group setting allows that. It allows interaction, it allows the emotional aspects of it. It's nice for parents to meet other parents. So the whole kind of social event is really, really good for a child.
But a mainstream setting may not be suited to all children with a disability, and so Southend has a specialist childminder scheme designed to support children with additional needs.
We've started Marvellous Minders, which is just been fantastic, and that is where we're working with a specialised group of childminders to raise their training, to raise what the quality of provision that they're doing, so that people can access a service that's actually tailored to meet the needs of children with additional needs.
Finding the right setting for a child with additional needs can at first appear daunting for parents, but their views are always listened to carefully.
This is all new to us. We didn't really know what the right thing was that we wanted to do, and I think as a parent you need to go with your gut feel. So we took the opinions of our professionals on board, we sought some independent advice, we looked around the local preschool provision to see if we felt that would fit with Phoebe, and then that helped us make the decision that we felt that she could cope and that it was worth giving it a go, and especially in the preschool years where it's focusing around play and socialisation, and that was a good time for us to maybe give a test see how she gets on for school. And we wanted to see if she could be happy in that environment. That's what you want for your child. You want her to be happy and make friends.
And for Phoebe and her parents, the experience has been a positive one.
She gets one-to-one support while she's at preschool all the time, so there's an additional member of staff. That member of staff works closely with the teacher of the deaf for any special training that she needs to run specific activities with Phoebe. A local speech and language therapist also works with the preschool, and again, if needed, runs training sessions on how to develop Phoebe's language. We also have individual education plan for Phoebe, which means that we meet on a regular basis and she's monitored very closely so that we know she's progressing as she should be and she's meeting her own individual targets.
Settings managers are an important part of the overall care team and will ensure that they're fully briefed and their staff trained to meet the needs of a child with a disability.
Well, usually when we have a child come to us with additional needs, we have the area Sanko already knows the child, so they come out to us and meet with us with the parents and any other outside people that were involved with the child already. So before the child even starts with us, we have a very good picture of what that child's needs are and what we need to do to accommodate that.
I think it's very important that we speak to the parents and the parents aren't afraid to ask us and tell us what their child's needs are, because at first impression when they come to visit perhaps they don't actually see what their child requires is in place. But if they can speak to us about it and say, well, would you be able to do this, then I'm sure, in most cases it is something that we could put into place, but we just haven't got it at the time.
Within my setting we work very closely with the specialist teacher regarding our deaf children that we've got at the moment. And she's seen the children from birth, so we have a lot of information from her to work with partnership with parents, and it's about talking through the individual needs of the child.
And we want to help them all they can, and to do the very best for their children, to help them go forward and integrate, ready to go to school, maybe the mainstream school.
Moving on from a childcare to a school setting is an important time for all children, and for parents of children with special needs, it's essential that this transition is made as smoothly as possible.
We would have a lot of meetings with the school once we know what school the child will be attending. We would invite them in to the centre and have a meeting with the whole family, and then ask the school to come and meet with the child as well within the centre. We would then show them what we have been doing and working towards with that child. And then when the child does go to school in September, we will attend meetings there as well, just for a smooth transition over. It works for the child. We've seen great transitions go in, and the child's been a lot happier in school once they've got there.
Accessing childcare in Southend for children with additional needs is a positive experience both for children and parents, underpinned by a very real commitment to inclusion.
So I think inclusion is about how we open our minds, how we open our hearts, and actually how we really think of children as a unique individual, because that's what they are, all children, especially young children, they're all unique. So actually the experience should be that unique experience for that child.
The Incy Wincy Spider climbed up the spout again.